Hey guys, today I'll show you a science fiction thriller TV series named Gen V Season 1. Spoilers ahead, watch out and take care. The drama begins with the television broadcasting news of a superhuman joining the Super 7 squad, which thrilled families in the community. The young girl Marie hid in the bathroom during her first menstrual cycle, a very timely coincidence as her superpowers awoke for the first time alongside it. Terrified by everything happening before her eyes, Marie's mother, worried, broke into the bathroom, only to be struck down by Marie's newfound ability to control blood, a dart to the throat, sending her mother straight to meet Satan. Stunned, Marie stood frozen as her father was drawn by the chicken noise and went to witness the inexplicable scene. Marie's chicken screams of madness echoed as her ability spiraled out of control once more, shattering the whole bathroom and tragically sending her father to hell to reunite with his dead wife. Her sister witnessed this horrifying event, unable to accept the fact that she was forced to be an orphan, and from that day on, the two sisters' relationship was severed. This traumatic experience became an inescapable nightmare and a dark chapter in Marie's past. Now Marie resides in an institute called Red River, a boarding school that nurtures orphans with superpowers. Through training, Marie gradually learned to control her blood manipulation abilities, using them as a formidable means of attack. Impressive as it is, one can't help but worry. Wouldn't she become anemic from using her power too much? Upon graduation, Marie faced two starkly different futures. The first was as a troubled child sent to the Elmira Adult Rehabilitation Center, where supers are confined, forced into research, and lost in darkness. The second path led to Godin University, established specifically for supers, offering specialized courses and a promise of a brighter future. There, she had the chance to join the Super 7 squad and become a superhero. By being compliant, avoiding trouble, and working diligently, Marie ultimately gained admission to her dream school, Godin University. Filled with hope, she planned to embark on a new chapter of her life. At the university, the girl, Emma, was Marie's college roommate who had garnered 1 million followers on YouTube thanks to her TikTok dance and the ability to shrink her sexy body into an onion piece. She warmly welcomed Marie. Due to her dark past, Marie made up lies about a normal family life to appease her roommate and cover up her dark history. They learned that the dormitory windows were sealed shut to prevent anyone from jumping or flying out like chickens and causing trouble. Godin University ranked its superhuman students, and the campus heartthrob, Golden Boy, topped the list. He had experienced a nightmare in the forest the night before, the meaning of which was unclear. His girlfriend, Kate, offered words of comfort, while his friend, Andre, saw a chance to make some money off his bets. It's shown that Golden Boy's most famous ability was to burst into flames during a fight, incinerating his clothes and battling naked, easily overpowering the big guy opponent and even tearing off his limbs, which was an eye-opener for Marie and others, highlighting the inherent danger. Fortunately, the opponent had a strong healing ability and was unharmed. Marie later discovered that the course about fighting evils she wanted to take was not on her schedule. She furiously approached to question the academy. The second-ranked student Jordan, in charge of course applications, told her that she wasn't qualified to enroll in the course due to her credentials. Marie doubted why a student TA could decide her course choice until Professor Brink suddenly burst in and shot at Jordan's bulletproof muscles. However, Jordan instantly changed gender and caught the bullet unharmed, proving her worth for the position. Since Marie had the professor's attention, she seized the opportunity, asserting that ambition mattered more than talent, and that she was exactly the kind of person he had spoken of. All she needed was a chance. In response to Marie's passionate plea, the professor remarked that the performance courses were also good, and maybe she could end up being a dancing queen on TikTok. Facing a naively hopeful student, the professor habitually doused her enthusiasm with a dose of reality, leaving Marie questioning her life choices. Along the way, a crazed young man brushed past Marie, fighting off security guards as if he had just escaped from an asylum. His immense strength indicated that he was also a superhuman. Marie, thinking the young man was a villain, took out her knife and used her blood control ability to attack and stop him. He screamed that he didn't want to go back to that cursed forest, bringing up the word woods once again, previously mentioned by Golden Boy. Then, Andre, who could control metal, stepped in and helped the security subdue the crazed young man, who was then taken to an underground cell. Graffiti about the woods was on the wall outside, hinting at a prison. Through this incident, Marie got acquainted with the top-ranked Andre. Unable to become a superhero, Marie considered performing TikTok dance, but quickly realized that this idle social chatter was not her thing. Even Emma, with 1 million fans, was not there by choice. Emma's shrinking ability seemed ineffective against villains. That's just how it was, and after all, very few would ultimately become contracted heroes. Meanwhile, Professor informed Golden Boy that they had found someone to create a special combat suit for him that wouldn't melt. Additionally, Golden Boy had been pre-selected for the Super 7 team. However, the honored Golden Boy didn't seem pleased. While he was outwardly accommodating the professor, he heard someone calling his name. On the other side, Andre took a liking to Marie and even came up with a slew of awkward nicknames for her like Bloody Mary. But importantly, he invited Marie to an off-campus party that evening. Fearful of breaking curfew, Marie flatly refused. Her roommate Emma, upon hearing this, strongly urged Marie to go, obsessed with the idea of getting intimate with Golden Boy. She also reasoned that if Marie could get into the in crowd, it would reflect well on Emma by association. Finally, taking Emma's strong advice, Marie decided to attend, and indeed she met top campus figures like Golden Boy, Kate, Andre, and Jordan. Secretly, she was relieved she had listened to her roommate's advice. Meanwhile, Emma was feeling hurt by malicious comments on her video until a classmate she had met that morning messaged her, claiming to be a loyal fan. It's true that relationships in a drama can escalate as quickly as lightning. A single message could lead Emma to sleep with this so-called fan. However, his motives weren't pure. It turns out that every time Emma shrinks, she needs to induce vomiting to activate her ability. The more she vomits, the smaller she becomes. Simply put, many people aren't born with superpowers. They acquire them through injections of Compound V in childhood. As a result, many superpower users suffer from little-known side effects. As for the conditions triggering Emma's shrinking ability, one can only say the scriptwriters had a somewhat distasteful sense of humor. As for this so-called fan, he only wanted to take advantage of Emma's shrinking to prove the large size of his little but smelly sausage, which is indeed a perversion. When Marie chatted with Golden Boy, she initially lied about having a harmonious family. However, perhaps out of admiration for Golden Boy, who was the closest thing to a superhero, Marie ended up telling the truth, including the accidental death of her parents, her aim to become a hero, and her desire to mend her relationship with her sister. Golden Boy also revealed that his brother was no longer alive and cautioned Marie that being a hero wasn't what she might think it was. He advised that if she wanted to be a hero, it had to be for herself. Marie listened, but still couldn't grasp the deeper meaning of his words. Kate removed her gloves, revealing her compelling superpower that granted her the ability to enter any event at will. It's a most convenient ability. Despite their jovial drinking at the table, each harbored their own concerns. Golden Boy, though selected for the Super 7 squad, was far from happy. Jordan could have aimed for the top spot after Golden Boy left, but his androgynous powers were undervalued by the higher-ups. The higher Andre's ranking, the more he had to live with his heroic father, adding to his reluctance to chase ranks and the pressure he felt. Marie went with the flow, fiercely dancing her hormones away in the TikTok dance. Later, Golden Boy was gripped by anxiety upon seeing the woods and someone's cry for help. As for Andre, his attempt to woo women led to disaster. In an effort to impress, he transformed a coin into a sharp little bird and wagered that he could make it fly into someone's cup. However, an accidental collision resulted in the bird slashing a lady's neck, plunging the once happy party into big chaos. None of the foursome had the ability to save the lady's shitty life, and to avoid exposure, they chose to retreat immediately, leaving her unaided in a bloody scene. This triggered memories of Marie's past tragedies. Since her power was blood manipulation, she wondered if she could save lives. With this thought, she successfully stopped the woman's bleeding. Marie was thrilled to have saved a life for the first time, but by breaking curfew, she had also exposed herself to the public eye. She thought her actions would earn her points, but instead, her brave rescue was twisted into a cover-up for a top student's troublemaking, making her the scapegoat. The professor shared with Marie a story of someone who drowned trying to save a dog, illustrating that heroism is about sacrifice, not glory. To cover up the top student's near-fatal mistake, Marie was made the fall guy, with expulsion looming to protect the reputations of other superheroes. The professor also noted that blood manipulation was too common a power to captivate the public, and suggested that being a doctor might be more useful for her. Facing such absurd accusations and denial, any normal person would be unable to accept it. But Marie had no background or leverage, especially burdened by the dark history of her parents' deaths, and thus had no means to fight back against the charges. At the same time, Golden Boy's mind was once again filled with images of that woods, where he saw his younger brother Sam crying out for help, shaking him to his core. Marie, struck as if by a thunderbolt, began to resent the advice of her roommate, and even more so, herself for trying so hard, only to end up with such a result. The more she thought about it, the more she found it hard to calm down, deciding to fight back once again. However, when she came to confront the professor, Marie unexpectedly witnessed Golden Boy reduce the professor to ash, ending the professor's lecturing life. Golden Boy had intended to pass off the murder as an accident, but unluckily for him, Marie was there to witness everything. He tried to explain that there was a reason behind his actions, something to do with the woods, but Marie's poor acting skills made it clear she couldn't keep a secret. With no other choice, Golden Boy found himself contemplating killing Marie. During her escape, Marie ran into Jordan, who immediately realized that Golden Boy had lost control. Jordan instructed Marie to flee while he held Golden Boy back. Golden Boy, suspecting Jordan of being in cahoots with the professor, didn't hesitate any longer. Jordan, ranked second, was indeed a formidable opponent to Golden Boy and managed to hold his own for a long time. But ultimately, he was no match for Golden Boy and was defeated. After her escape, Marie encountered Andre, who tried to protect her and calm Golden Boy down. Golden Boy truly couldn't bring himself to harm his close friend Andre, but once the incident was exposed, he knew he couldn't escape his fate. So after saying goodbye to Andre, he chose to self-destruct like a firework, splattering his diabetic blood all over. The death of Golden Boy finally revealed the dark side hidden within Godin University. The core appeal of the Boys series is that no matter how glamorous superheroes appear on the surface, the harsh reality will come to light once you get close enough to the truth. Godin University was actually controlled by Vought International, who created a serum that gave normal people powers and had no time to mourn the professor or Golden Boy. Their deaths meant significant losses for stakeholders, with billions at stake in related industries and traffic. Therefore, they had to find a way to turn losses into profits. At the scene of the incident were Andre, Marie, and Jordan. Based on support rates and traffic, it was decided to promote Marie and Andre. Jordan, the unpopular androgynous Asian, was not considered, even though she contributed the most to the incident. Maximizing profits was their true underlying value. To distance themselves, they claimed that Golden Boy was a long-time drug user with mental health issues. As for Professor Brink, a memorial service would be organized to recoup some of the funeral expenses. The truth behind the incident, triggered by the woods, had to be covered up at all costs, lest the stakeholders suffer. The task of cleaning up the mess was left to the experienced principal, Indira. Upon hearing the news, Emma wanted to comfort her roommate Marie. However, Marie, completely confused, deliberately kept her distance. The following day, according to the higher-ups' plan, freshman Marie, just like Andre, suddenly entered the top 10 rankings and kept climbing. Therefore, Marie became the focal point of the school's attention, all the while unaware. Jordan might have been the only one genuinely grieving Professor Brink's death, as other students were merely feigning sadness to ride the wave of attention. Those who openly mocked Golden Boy were dealt with by Kate, who used her enforcement superpower to have them pound eggs with a metal bar every hour as a form of anger management. Marie later learned that she was considered a hero of the academy, despite having done little, and she relished the adoration. Andre's father taught him that it's okay to be sad, but it's crucial to seize the opportunity to ascend and not miss the chance. Andre found Golden Boy's unexpected death puzzling and asked Marie to help investigate, but she refused. Andre then accused her of shamelessly climbing the ranks, to which Marie immediately responded by saying she took the fall for their trouble and almost got expelled. She pointed out that she had no influential background or support, so she felt she didn't owe them anything, especially since they were merely acquaintances. Emma's assignment for her performance art class required her to find a partner for a dramatic piece. She thought pairing with the senior Justine was a sure win, but this collaboration would prove to be a complete loss for Emma. With Marie's rapid rise to prominence and her joining the academy she had always dreamed of, she felt no guilt over Jordan's dissatisfaction and accusations, just as Andre had said. In the end, Jordan only hoped that Marie would mention her efforts during an interview. Although Marie stated she would be reading from a script, Jordan pointed out that it was a live broadcast, and whatever she said would go out live. Emma's partner, Justine, incessantly emphasized that she chose to work with her not because Emma could shrink, but because she believed Emma was a truly great performer. She had seen it firsthand. Her excessive flattery broke down Emma's defenses, and thinking she had found a kindred spirit, she revealed a secret she had never told anyone. In order for her to shrink, she had to induce vomiting in the bathroom. The more she vomited, the smaller she got. Despite how disgusting it sounded, Justine seemed unfazed. The next day, Emma's most guarded secret was exposed to the public, clearly a move to capture attention and generate traffic. Emma was devastated, unable to believe that her sincerity had been repaid with betrayal. When she confronted Justine responsible, she simply said she didn't know it was a secret and instead accused Emma of overreacting. Soon, Emma might realize that seeking comfort and understanding with an open heart will definitely lead to mockery and exploitation, a lesson everyone must learn. Likewise, the principal showed understanding of Marie's psychological warfare. Marie, who accidentally caused her parents' death, had built high walls around herself from fear of hurting others again. The principal's acting skills and concern broke through Marie's defenses, revealing her tender side. She became a hero to earn money and credibility, so her sister wouldn't see her as a killer of their parents, but a hero, hoping it would help mend their strained relationship. However, these intimate confessions would only turn into leverage for the principal, who then went to the secret woods underground, persuading Golden Boy's brother Sam not to run away again and get hurt. Meanwhile, Andre and Kate began investigating the mysterious death of Golden Boy, quickly discovering that his room had been completely emptied and cleaned. They thought the trail had gone cold, but then Andre remembered Golden Boy's cryptic last words, "The clue is with his father." Therefore, Andre searched his father's sculpture and, indeed, found information left by Golden Boy. In the video, he revealed that his brother hadn't killed himself, but was held captive in a secret lab called The Woods, and he was going to rescue him. The situation was dire. He expressed his hope that Andre and Kate could help save his brother. Seeing that video, they were skeptical but terrified at the possibility of it being true. However, with an important interview tonight that could catapult Andre to the top, Kate urged him to attend, leaving the other matters for later. Marie had already arrived on the scene preparing her statement, struggling whether to reveal Jordan's truth. Andre was supposed to go to the interview site until he saw the remnants of Golden Boy's flesh, and feeling a conscience-stricken resolve, he left. He went to the professor's office to investigate, easily breaking through the fingerprint recognition, and actually found Golden Boy's brother locked up in the woods. As security arrived, Andre, who was hiding, witnessed them taking all of the professor's information. Following them quietly, Andre also witnessed the security team silence a janitor who saw them, murdering to cover their tracks. Unfortunately, Andre was discovered by another security guard. He used his superpower to suppress him, but the guard pulled out an audio device designed to incapacitate superhumans, rendering Andre defenseless. Fortunately, Kate arrived just in time, forcing the two guards into a crude joke with her superpower. Overexerting her abilities, Kate collapsed into convulsions. Marie was also deeply shaken before the interview when a prominent journalist casually revealed her sister's secret. The journalist mentioned that they had intended to connect with her sister for questioning, but she had refused, stating she didn't want to have anything to do with Marie. The whereabouts of her sister and her refusal left Marie heartbroken and in a state of shock. It meant that the information had been leaked not by a journalist's investigation, but by the betrayal of the principal. As a result, Marie closed off her heart even more and became stronger. Therefore, the advice given to her by Jordan lost its significance. Marie decided to take advantage of the situation and use the momentum to boost her own profile, calmly delivering her prepared statement, which resulted in a surge of attention. However, the pain of her sister's rejection and potential betrayal was hard to bear. Marie decided to confront the principal face to face, but the principal claimed ignorance and offered a comforting embrace to the vulnerable Marie. It's revealed that years ago, Sam was confined in the mental institution because Compound V gave him immense superhuman power, but it was uncontrollable. Sam's mind was constantly invaded by various voices, driving him almost to madness. This was all thanks to their parents who had administered Compound V, leading to these consequences. Golden Boy could have managed the situation, but the security acted recklessly, leading to Sam delivering a punch to kill the security guard. Just as Sam was about to lose control, Kate intervened in time. Back to the main storyline, Kate finally recovered from the side effects. Andre believed that they should help Sam escape from the facility by using their superpowers. But considering the fate of Golden Boy, Kate urged Andre not to be impulsive because she didn't want to lose Andre as she had lost Golden Boy. On Marie's end, after discovering that vomiting made Emma shrink and eating restored her to her original state, she managed to restore the shrunken Emma back to her normal size. However, both of them were currently dealing with the pain of betrayal and found it hard to trust each other. The next day, the principal tried to console and praise Marie again, saying that the reporter had deliberately used her sister to make things difficult for her, hoping to see her cry and thereby increase ratings and her own score. Marie's strong performance earned her newfound respect from the principal, who also invited her to attend a fundraising event that evening. Andre's father, a hero in his own right, was angry that Andre couldn't attend the interview, but Andre didn't reveal the real reason and just brushed it off. On the street, Justine suddenly appeared, wanting to apologize to Marie. However, the apology was insincere. It was all for show. Emma glanced at the camera by her side and immediately understood the situation. Later, Emma unexpectedly ran into her wealthy mother, who expressed concern and comforted her. She even took revenge on Emma's behalf, claiming she paid to have Justine fired from the TV series she was in and invited her daughter to attend the evening's event, hinting at a surprise. However, Marie was still not strong enough to ignore the outside world. Upon seeing Kate, she immediately apologized, only to be met with Kate's sarcastic comments about her social climbing. Soon, Marie arrived at the star-studded fundraising dinner as promised. She learned to smile and tell fabricated family stories. The principal commented on her great performance, noting that people there didn't want the truth, and she didn't want to tell it either. The principal also mentioned that although Marie was new, she could potentially become the top-ranked person, which excited Marie. At the ball, Emma encountered the famous media personality her mother had introduced, who said they could make Marie an overnight sensation on her show. Marie was momentarily thrilled, but then the conversation took a turn. They wanted to give Emma a complete makeover with a new image. In reality, they planned to exploit Emma's so-called eating disorder and the hot topic of the perfect woman's accusations for a tailored show, sensationalizing Emma's personal emotions and weaknesses for viewership. If Emma was strong enough, she could use this exploitation as a stepping stone to take off. Just as her mother said, everyone is using someone in the real world. However, Emma didn't want to be used by her mother in this way. Jordan faced similar challenges. Not only did the school's higher-ups discriminate against her for being intersex, but her biological parents were prejudiced as well. They only wanted to boast about how outstanding Jordan was as a male, while Jordan responded silently by presenting as female. Her father once said that he felt Jordan became a girl just to infuriate him. To this, Jordan honestly replied that she was just trying to be herself. It's like a kid enjoying video games and basketball. It has nothing to do with gender. It seems like everyone is maintaining their own identity and rebelling against the outside world. Andre did the same. He went behind his father's back to find Emma and told her about Golden Boy and his brother being persecuted in the woods. He hoped she could help rescue Sam. The initial goal was simply to locate Sam using Emma's GPS on her phone for tracking. They agreed to meet in an hour, and the shrunken Emma quickly vanished into the shadows. Emma seamlessly blended into the meal delivery service and successfully located Sam's cell. However, Sam quickly discovered her, and she was instantly trapped by the cup. Meanwhile, Andre, worried about why Emma hadn't surfaced yet, confronted his father in a moment of emotional turmoil, revealing the fact that the Woods lab had captured Golden Boy's brother. To his shock, he learned that not only was his father aware of the situation, but he also warned Andre to back off or risk his life. This must have been a significant blow to Andre, who aspired to become a hero. An unhappy Jordan unleashed her frustrations on Marie, sarcastically calling her the perfect little hero who flatters and maneuvers her way up in her parents' eyes. In response to this provocation, Marie revealed that she had accidentally killed her parents and had always loathed herself for it. Sometimes such confessions could have an effect. For instance, Kate also admitted that when she was 9 years old and camping, she pushed her brother away out of annoyance, never expecting him to disappear. It was the first time her abilities awakened, and her annoying brother never returned, leading her parents to despise her intensely. So Kate reminded Marie that it wasn't her fault, but the fault of those hateful parents who injected their children with dangerous drugs, treating them like cash cows. Then Jordan claimed she had killed her grandfather with her powers, to which Kate retorted that she hadn't. Jordan admitted that she just wanted to fit in by faking her past. Emma's situation looked grim. Sam, suffering from some sort of mental illness, mistook her for a hallucination at first. To verify if Emma was real, he started asking her various questions, such as how he injured his arm and what his favorite movie was. Clueless, Emma took wild guesses, perhaps a biking accident for the arm, and for the movie she assumed The Shawshank Redemption or The Godfather. Sam, however, revealed his favorite movie to be Waterworld, and he liked to watch it from Daniel CC Movie Channel. Judging by Emma's reactions, Sam was convinced she was a real person. Emma admitted that she was there to rescue him, sent by his brother Golden Boy, though she did not disclose that his brother was already dead. Sam was overjoyed to hear this and revealed that he had memorized the door's passcode. In the midst of their interaction, Sam sincerely complimented Emma on her beauty and bravery. But their moment of peace was short-lived, as the defense system detected Emma's intrusion. Sam quickly moved Emma aside, warning her to escape as soon as the electricity went out. Before she could understand what was happening, Sam was struck down by an electric shock. The guard came in to search the area, and seeing Sam still conscious, shocked him again, causing him harm. Emma, unable to stand by and watch, took a leap towards the guard. Risking being crushed by the guard, she invaded his body through the ear, wreaking havoc inside and slashing his diabetic organs at will. Emma caused chaos inside, ultimately killing the guard, and then crawled out of his smelly ear, covered in blood, nearly choking to death. As other guards closed in, Emma's troubles escalated. Unexpectedly, Sam, who had a knack for violence, managed to escape. The principal and another doctor had to figure out how to retrieve Sam, or the Vought group backing them would have their heads. Unfortunately, the principal later discovered Emma's missing shoe. Andre and the others, although they found Emma's tracker, were still unable to wait for her return. Kate and Jordan complained about Andre's impulsive actions and feared that Emma might have been killed. Considering the enormous risks, they still believed it was best not to get involved. Sam and Emma had fled to an abandoned drive-in movie theater, which was a secret base known only to Sam and his brother. It was well concealed. Sam intended to contact his brother immediately, but upon seeing Emma's reaction, he learned his brother was dead as shit. Sam had believed his brother to be invincible, that no one could have killed him. Indeed, no one did, because Golden Boy just killed himself. Emma had kept this from Sam out of consideration for his feelings. The news struck Sam like a bolt from the blue, leaving him feeling utterly desolate in the world. Sam was aware of his mental struggles, which often led to complications. He felt that no one could stand by him for long, including Emma, who wanted to comfort him using words but not muscles. Despite this, Emma promised she would never leave him. Over at Godin University, a top detective named Tech had arrived on the scene. Ostensibly, he was sent there to investigate the peculiar circumstances surrounding Golden Boy's suicide. In reality, his mission was to ensure that the truth about the tragedy, sparked by Golden Boy's attempt to rescue Sam in the woods, would not become public knowledge. Tech had been college mates with the principal, who knew how difficult he could be. Tech could discern lies or emotional states from the tiniest of clues, such as a drop of sweat or a spike in adrenaline. He declared his intention to find a scapegoat for the case. The principal had no objections, but warned him not to target the top 5 students. Tech's arrival was a source of trouble for both the principal and the students. Troubled by a series of misfortunes, Andre had turned to drinking to cope with his low spirits. He confided in Kate, expressing regret for his recklessness and lamenting the fact that his father was aware of the situation in the woods, shattering Andre's image of his father as both hero and role model, even if his father's intentions might have been protective. Marie sought the help of a clairvoyant classmate, Rufus, to find Emma. Rufus immediately sensed that Marie was searching for her roommate and more. He felt the presence of another man near Emma. To strengthen the psychic connection, he asked Marie to come closer. When Marie awoke, she found Rufus half-naked and making unwelcome advances. In a moment of crisis, Marie used her control over blood to explosively retaliate against Rufus, shocking the timely arrived Jordan, who berated her for choosing such a sleazy helper. Despite their bickering, Jordan was there to remind Marie that Detective Tech posed a significant threat to them all. Tech quickly began interrogating those close to Golden Boy. He questioned Andre about why Golden Boy killed himself. He asked Jordan if it was jealousy that he couldn't surpass Golden Boy. He also questioned Kate about her lack of awareness of Golden Boy's mental issues, despite being his lover. Tech, true to his reputation as a detective, could sniff out the truth like a rose's scent, each question striking to the core. He even uncovered that Andre and Kate had slept together, which infuriated Andre. Andre cursed Tech as a scoundrel and directly accused his father of being a coward and no hero. Tech, accustomed to such reactions, brushed it off as nothing. He had an edited version of events at his disposal. Then Tech turned his attention to Marie in the classroom. As before, by judging her lies and his incisive interrogations, he angered Marie, prompting her to admit that she sought out the professor that day because he was about to expel her and that her encounter with Golden Boy was merely an escape. The true adversary of Golden Boy was actually Jordan. Although it was Tech who pressured Marie, she finally felt relieved of the lies she had been carrying. The principal was displeased with Tech for targeting the top 5 students, but Tech threatened her, pointing out her undeniable responsibility since he had discovered that Sam had fled from the woods. Compared to the incident in the woods, the principal would rather take the smaller consequence of being associated with Golden Boy's mental breakdown. However, as the head of a school for the superpowered, the principal was no ordinary person. She then lured Tech into a small grove for a private meeting. Tech, smugly thinking the principal might offer him a naked bribe, was instead outmaneuvered when she revealed his brain tumor, which had led him to a certain fetish. Tech uncontrollably used donut vacuums, car fuel tanks, and even human skulls for gratification. In other words, the release of this video would ruin Tech's reputation in an instant. Thus, successfully controlled by the principal, he could only leave without further inquiry. In the end, Tech stated the truth as such. Golden Boy had simply suffered a mental breakdown. Before leaving, Tech's interest in the hollow tree stump suggested that the brain tumor indeed caused uncontrollable behavior. Elsewhere, Emma was getting along well with the delusional Sam. Sam was tormented by side effects of his superpowers and illusions in his mind. Guided by fantasies of protecting Emma, Sam sought revenge against those who might harm them, such as the once harmful Dr. Cardosa. Emma was unaware of why Sam suddenly became agitated and was unable to calm him down, so Sam rushed to the doctor's house and vanished without a trace. At this point, Andre was bitterly resentful towards his father, and he needed Kate to console him. On the other hand, Marie, for telling the truth, was met with accusations from Jordan. It seemed like criticism on the surface, but in reality, Jordan was trying to express gratitude towards Marie. It was just that she wasn't very good at communicating, so it appeared as though they were arguing. Then, amid their bickering, things escalated quickly to them getting cozy, and it wasn't long before things moved to the bed. However, their smelly moment was interrupted by Emma. After Emma explained the situation, it just so happened that Jordan knew where Dr. Cardosa lived. However, Sam was one step ahead and was ready to execute them in order to protect Emma. Meanwhile, Dr. Cardosa had prepared himself to make the ultimate sacrifice for his family. Soon enough, Andre and the others arrived to prevent Sam's rampage. Emma's approach to calm him down was already having an effect, but a comment from Andre enraged Sam. Neither Andre nor Emma could stop him. When Emma took food to force herself to transform, Jordan proved to be very capable with her powers. She managed to suppress Sam temporarily. Emma really could handle both small and large situations, as she used her giant form to control Sam, subduing him like a little chicken. In the next scene, Marie and Jordan ended up rolling the sheets on bed as if everything that happened before was just a dream. The scene shifts to Andre and Kate, waking up confused in a room. After checking, they realized they were at a classmate's house where a party was being held. More surprisingly, they discovered that Marie and Jordan had gotten together. What was even more unexpected was that neither of them had any clear idea of what happened the night before. Later, by the swimming pool, they found a hungover, giant Emma. The first to realize that something was amiss was Jordan, who could never black out due to her constitution, no matter how much she drank. They all thought it was Friday, but it turned out to be Saturday. What's important is not just the memory of last night missing, but several days' worth of memories were gone. So Marie and Emma saw the remnants of last night's wild party, yet had absolutely no recollection or feeling of it. Emma then explained that she always had the ability to grow large, but her mother, seeing her enlarged form as monstrous, strictly forbade it. Sam was just about to apologize for last night's slip-up when he discovered that Emma and Marie had no idea who he was, treating him like a suspicious stranger. Instantly catching on, Sam realized that someone had caused their amnesia. He warned Emma that their school was full of dangerous and wicked people and no one should be trusted, not even themselves. Sam was momentarily at a loss for words, but then assured them that he would find a way to help. He was certain of one thing, though: Emma was an undeniable hero. With that, he took off in a hurry. Later, the group from the previous night reconvened, only to realize they all had missing memories, and the information Sam had shared further confirmed it. Kate suddenly spoke up, deflecting the blame onto Rufus, who could hypnotize others. Marie believed that Rufus had the motive because she had left him blown away recently. At that moment, Dr. Cardosa panicked about the assault from the night before, worried about losing his life over some money. However, the principal reminded him that running wasn't an option. Maybe a salary increase would suffice. Dr. Cardosa expressed his interest in studying Marie, who was exceptionally special. The principal admitted that Marie had a sponsor. She was untouchable. Indeed, it seemed that Marie's superpower was to spill chicken blood, a seemingly trivial ability until she demonstrated that she could control blood to both heal and kill instantly. This revealed that Marie had the power to manipulate others' blood and was only at a preliminary stage. Kate then confessed again, revealing that she had been drugged and threatened by Rufus during her freshman year. He had warned her that if she resisted, he would erase her memory again. Kate's story was a mix of truth and lies, but it successfully shifted the hatred because Andre had already gone to avenge her. They then saw the principal and Rufus chatting. Jordan was ready to catch them, but Marie suggested they wait for the principal to leave, as her gut told her she couldn't trust the principal. When Rufus saw them, he ran off like a broken Tesla bike, with Marie and Jordan in hot pursuit using their hot bodies, only to be deceived by a shapeshifter hired by Rufus. But Rufus couldn't hide forever because Andre was waiting at the dormitory, ready to deal with him. Rufus had to reveal that Kate was lying because he only remembered Kate hitting him hard, not the context for their vengeance. However, before Andre could finish interrogating him, Rufus hypnotized Andre, sending him on a trivial mission to buy cola and hamburgers. But since Andre retained his memory even after being hypnotized, it was pretty clear that Rufus was not the troublemaker, while Kate was the traitor among the group. While Emma and Marie were gossiping about the hormone relationships, they stumbled upon a t-shirt from a drive-in movie theater, which plot corroborated Sam's story. In Sam's view, everyone was like puppets. The upcoming violent scenes had been cartoonishly censored because they were too brutal from Sam's perspective, where he brutally dismembered his pursuers. As Marie's ability to control blood grew stronger, she began to notice something unusual about her body, and to her surprise, she found a tracker implanted within her. Unfortunately, Marie made the grave mistake of turning to Kate first. Kate was both regretful and shocked by Marie's discovery, feigning concern and asking Marie to check her as well. This was merely a ruse for close contact, which ultimately confirmed Kate as the spy. While apologizing, Kate once again erased Marie's memory. Thus, Marie became clueless once more, unaware of where her wounds came from or why she was pursuing Rufus. Jordan immediately understood that Rufus had again erased Marie's memory. Though Marie had lost her memories, her body and abilities retained their own form of recollection, which led her to detect the tracker inside Jordan. Exposed, Kate ran to the principal, tearfully admitting that she couldn't continue with her actions, and that Marie and the others would eventually uncover the truth. Indeed, the principal was more cunning than she appeared, able to manipulate others using their weaknesses. So she comforted Kate, asserting that only she had the talent to help people overcome their obstacles. Meanwhile, Emma, guided by a belief in Sam, visited the abandoned drive-in theater where she encountered a strangely familiar yet foreign Sam. Sam confessed that it was Kate who made Golden Boy forget he had a brother. The realization was chilling. The closest person to them was a puppeteer capable of manipulating memories. While the manipulated Kate had her own reasons and even considered fleeing with Andre, once the irrevocable truth was exposed, there was no turning back. When Andre received an urgent message, Marie and Jordan had already subdued Rufus, who was not the true culprit. Rufus defended himself, claiming his innocence since he had been at home all evening and his abilities only worked at short range. As for the tracker, he professed ignorance. Kate was furious, accusing him of incessant lying until Emma called Marie to reveal that Kate was the real villain. Jordan was initially skeptical but trusted Marie's words. Fueled by rage, Andre was ready to seek vengeance on Rufus, who would have ended up dead or crippled if not for intervention. Moreover, Andre refused to believe that Kate was the traitor. By now, however, Kate could no longer hide the truth and had to confess. She claimed she had no ill intentions, but words were futile, so she directly restored the precious memories Andre had lost. In doing so, she completely forfeited Andre's trust. In an attempt to atone for exposing her identity as a spy, Kate restored everyone's memories. However, this act of redemption couldn't negate the gravity of her crimes, and the unanimous sentiment was that she couldn't be forgiven. Andre was the most devastated of all, feeling betrayed by the person he cared for the most. While Marie believed that Kate was a victim of the school's oppression, these thoughts did little to soothe a shattered heart. Suddenly, overwhelmed by despair and the excessive use of her powers, Kate collapsed. Despite the fact that Kate's predicament was a web of her own making, none of them wanted to see her die. So, despite the significant risk, Marie used her ability to manipulate chicken blood to treat Kate, temporarily saving her from immediate danger. Meanwhile, a breakthrough had been made in the Woods lab with a virus aimed at superhumans. Once introduced into a superhuman's body, it could block the use of their powers. Of course, it also carried severe side effects and illnesses. The doctor believed the virus was a success and was ready to report the good news to the higher-ups. However, Principal Indira thought the timing wasn't right and that they should intensify the dosage to confirm the virus's ultimate effectiveness. On the other hand, as everyone discussed Kate's condition, she suddenly disappeared without a trace, and the wall of the room began to crumble. When they stepped outside and looked back, the entire house had vanished. Perhaps Kate had concealed even greater powers, or maybe it was something else. In the woods, they stumbled upon Kate's tragic memories, the incident that awakened her powers and led to her brother's disappearance. Only then did they realize that Kate had drawn them into her memories and that their physical bodies were now lying unconscious. The withering trees in the background were a stark symbol of Kate's inner turmoil and brokenness. More unexpectedly, Soldier Boy suddenly appeared here. According to him, Soldier Boy was Kate's imaginary friend from her childhood, conjured up within her dreams where anything is possible. More precisely, Soldier Boy was a fictional character Kate had created as a form of sexual awakening. Andre, who disliked him, nauseatedly asserted that he was a spy for Russia. Soldier Boy, however, argued that even his flatulence was as patriotic as the Stars and Stripes. He urged everyone to leave quickly, or else they would be trapped there. The booming thunder was, in reality, the sound of Kate's blood vessels bursting. If she became comatose, it would spell doom for them as well. As he spoke, Soldier Boy was obliterated by the exploding blood vessels, proving that even imaginary friends could meet a violent end. The group figured they'd better make a quick exit. Emma, who had come to find Sam, hadn't gotten entangled in Kate's troubles. Quite the opposite, she found herself rather lucky in love. Sam admitted he was still a virgin, to which Emma responded that she would be gentle with him. In Sam's eyes, everyone else seemed like dolls, which is why he always had such a hard time distinguishing between reality and illusion. Emma's uniqueness, perhaps, lay in her distinctive way of speaking, which made it easy to tell her apart. Sam wanted to elope with Emma to escape the troubles, while Emma believed that they should face their problems rather than run from them. Those who fell into Kate's memories were like characters in a nightmarish version of Alice in Wonderland. Because of Kate's terrifying powers, she had been locked up at home by her mother for 9 years, so Principal Indira, who had come to see her, was a special savior-like figure to her. Moreover, the principal had brought a special medication that, if taken daily, could suppress Kate's outbursts, and consequently block out the external noise that Kate didn't want to hear. In the next scene, the group trapped there was transported back to the day when Golden Boy and Kate first met. Dreams being a realm where anything is possible, Golden Boy expressed his inability to trust Andre because, according to the screen, Andre had slept with Kate behind Golden Boy's back. It turns out they shared this messy connection. Faced with Golden Boy's outburst, Andre, Jordan, and Marie found themselves unable to use their superpowers in the dream, so their only option was to flee for their shitty lives. The memories that had just been revealed were actually Andre's, coupled with the terrible figments of Kate's imagination. What followed were the unknown memories of Jordan, who accidentally overheard Golden Boy arguing vehemently with Professor Brink over Sam's situation. Her subconscious decision to side with the professor earned her high praise and a promotion to his teaching assistant. In other words, when faced with her own interests, Jordan chose personal gain over truth and conscience, ultimately becoming an accomplice and a watchdog in harming others. Clearly, Kate's memories were beginning to overlap with theirs. Next were Kate's memories related to the woods, where they used Sam's blood to strengthen other superhumans, with Kate responsible for controlling and brainwashing Golden Boy and the others, a thought that was chilling to even observe. The puppeteer behind Kate was clearly the upper echelons of the school. Then there were the tragic memories of Marie. Behind that familiar door lay Marie's dark past and the source of her pain. No matter how hard she tried to be a hero, in her sister's eyes, she would always be seen as a murderer of their parents. Andre, Jordan, Marie, each of them had their own unbearable memories and suffering. Realizing this, Marie began to shout in the dream, reminding Kate that it's not their fault, and the fault lies with the world and the bad people who use them. This approach worked, and they finally met the real Kate in the dream. Kate promised to help them leave her dream realm, admitting that although they might have been exploited, she did not wish to leave while burdened with deep sins. She wanted to escape from her problems, but Andre candidly stated that escape wouldn't compensate for anything. He urged her to wake up and atone for the sins she had committed. Behind the accusations, Andre gave Kate a way out, and ultimately the four of them awoke from the memory. Jordan, elated, confirmed the reality by transforming. Meanwhile, Emma arrived with Sam to join the group, but upon seeing Kate, Sam instantly went into a rampage. The three tried to intervene, but they were powerless against Sam's retaliation. If it weren't for Emma's plea for an end to the cycle of vengeance, Sam would have torn Kate to shreds by now. Marie reminded Kate that it would take a lot of effort for her to regain trust. With the immediate issues resolved and the principal being the main culprit, they decided to start with her to find answers. Moreover, since they chose to resist, they were now on a dangerous path of no return. Following the principal's orders to increase the dosage of poison, the lab ended up killing a superhuman. The principal, in an attempt to make the virus highly transmissible, locked the unfortunate superhuman with deeply infected individuals. Although the experiment has not achieved airborne transmission yet, it is capable of transmission through physical contact and fluids, making the situation inside utterly desperate. Dr. Cardosa, responsible for the experiment, believes that airborne transmission is too dangerous and could potentially lead to the extinction of the superhuman race. While he wants to use the threat of exposing the Vought Institute to leverage against Indira, it's clear that Dr. Cardosa is also in danger if the information goes public. Meanwhile, Kate managed to arrange a meeting with Indira. However, the principal had a meeting and suggested that Kate rest at her house first, showing great concern about whether Kate was taking her medication. It was evident that Kate had stopped taking her meds, so the inner turmoil of the crowd was incessant to her. The unpopular Congresswoman Victoria, featured in the news, was likely to face protests at the upcoming meeting. Victoria, as a high-level behind-the-scenes manipulator, began to intervene in the main storyline. Despite Kate's insistence that she would force the principal to tell the truth, Andre, who didn't trust her, decided to accompany her. It was clear that everyone now had difficulty trusting Kate. Jordan's stress-induced voice change and mocking revealed a mind-reading ability that made everyone feel repulsed and wary. This distrust shook Kate's confidence. Marie, however, was willing to believe in Kate as a fellow victim and comforted Jordan, suggesting they try to trust that Kate was on their side. The problem was that even if Jordan had the keys to the principal's office and had uncovered the dark secrets of Godin University, the word of a non-binary individual wasn't enough to convince the public. Therefore, they needed to find a representative with sufficient credibility, like the controversial Congresswoman Victoria. Meanwhile, Emma was busy destroying any evidence related to Sam. Although Sam had indeed done some puppet-tearing, terrifying acts against real people, it wasn't entirely unjustifiable since Emma was on Sam's side. Though her intention was to protect the wanted Sam, whether the plan to just hide in the dorm was feasible remained a question. At the same time, Marie and Jordan decided to search for evidence in the office, trying not to rely on Kate, whom they still couldn't trust. Marie casually found secret documents in a hidden compartment of a drawer, which greatly undermined the principal's ability to control risks. The documents they unearthed were reports of a transoceanic flight where 123 people perished, and it turned out that Indira's husband and daughter were among the casualties. This explained her hatred for superhumans, a hatred that seemed justifiable for her actions against the supers. Dr. Cardosa, dissatisfied with the principal, exposed the secrets. The vitriolic words about virus transmission and exterminating them all were heard by the oblivious Marie and Jordan. The doctor even went so far as to urinate in a wine bottle to discuss the principal. To ensure the plan for airborne virus transmission was viable, the principal sought help from Colonel Mallory, the former leader of the boys, hoping she could provide the necessary support and funding. She believed Mallory shared her hatred for the unregulated superhuman community. However, this plan wasn't just about stripping superhumans of their powers. It was almost tantamount to genocide. Seeing the principal's actions, Colonel Mallory immediately thought of the spiritual leader of the team she led, the vigilante known as Billy Butcher, and thus temporarily refused to cooperate with the principal. She also instructed her people to keep a close watch on how things unfolded. On the other side, Sam, who was waiting for Emma, started to feel bored and entertained himself in various ways around the dorm, going through personal items. The sound of a scream made Sam mistakenly think it was Emma, but instead, he stumbled upon how much fun the college crowd could be. Sam, who had always felt lonely, couldn't resist the temptation and was thus lured away by the mischievous college students, forgetting to wait. Andre's dad was invited to a television show, the same one that Congresswoman Victoria was set to attend. At this point, Andre still hadn't forgiven his father for being complicit in certain matters and mentioned that it had been a long time since he had spoken to his father. Soon, his father started to slur his speech and act strangely before suddenly convulsing and collapsing, triggering a violent and chaotic outburst of power. It's speculated that someone had tampered with something. Although Kate is a suspect, she has an alibi, so someone else must be responsible. The person who benefits from Andre's father's sudden illness is likely Kate, because this incident diverted Andre, who was supposed to go with her to see the principal, and the seriousness of the situation prevented Andre from leaving his father. When Emma returns, she discovers Sam is gone. It turns out Sam was taken by Rufus to the meeting venue, where Congresswoman Victoria's campaign and core values are about enhancing protection, or rather control, over both humans and superhumans, and establishing a new department to involve superhumans in societal development to reduce accidents and bloody incidents caused by superhumans. Marie and Jordan, carrying this intelligence, go to find the agent. In an effort to draw the guards away from Jordan, Victoria punches Emma's bully and incites a massive brawl among the students outside the gate, providing Marie with the opportunity to enter the venue. At the venue, the incident of Homelander's killing of a fan sparked heated debate. The question was whether Homelander, like ordinary people, should be subject to punishment. Victoria's stance was that superhumans should be held accountable just like commoners. However, this view was met with mockery and satire from the superhuman community. Essentially, the superiority of superhumans far exceeds that of normal humans. To place superhumans and ordinary people at the same starting line could itself be seen as a restriction and unfair to superhumans. There's nothing wrong with resistance, but the way Rufus deliberately guided public opinion and emotions makes one think that his simple mind couldn't have fully grasped the issue. It must be someone else pulling the strings from behind. Ironically, the beneficiary of this whole affair seems to be Victoria, who was on the podium because her advocacy is for the safety of both ordinary people and superhumans. The chaos caused by superhumans coincidentally proves that her agenda is needed, and ordinary people are the majority of society after all. At such a critical juncture, one would expect Marie's sudden request to speak to be denied, but Victoria's reaction to Marie's arrival was as if she had been waiting for it and agreed quickly to find a place to talk. Elsewhere, although Emma found Sam, her insistence on keeping Sam out of the fray clearly disappointed him, who was drawn to college life. This foreshadowed a rift that would later develop between them. The unusual actions of not turning on the lights and not wearing gloves raised the principal's suspicions, until Kate revealed that the medication made her numb and compliant, which is why she stopped taking it. She would no longer be at the mercy of the principal. Without the medication, Kate's telepathy was unrestricted, so the principal simply let down her guard and opened up, knowing that any lie would be detected by Kate and would be counterproductive. The principal expressed that there was no need to continue the charade, suggesting they leave everything behind and run away together. After losing her husband and daughter, the principal's inner world had collapsed. She saw Kate not only as a useful tool, but also as a daughter. Kate could feel that the principal was speaking genuinely, and so she switched sides again, aligning herself with the principal. She was also informed that the compulsion only needed to be used one last time before they could leave everything behind for good, and Kate would no longer be alone. On Marie's end, she was profoundly shaken, for the Victoria standing before her not only understood her well, but also knew from just a sample of blood that she was a superhuman with hidden powers. More surprisingly, she, like Marie, had mastered the art of manipulating blood, having climbed her way up from an orphanage. Victoria openly admitted that she had been covertly assisting Marie all along, pushing her forward. It seems that the powerful backer and investor behind Marie, once mentioned by the principal to the doctor, was none other than Victoria herself. Thus, Marie's rapid and seemingly effortless advancement was no coincidence. This suggests that Professor Brink's death and Golden Boy's suspicious suicide may have been manipulated events. As the vice president's partner, Victoria certainly had the ability to orchestrate the grand scheme. Although the speculation is just a theory, it does shed light on many previously inexplicable aspects. After Marie finished explaining about the woods and the virus, Victoria's response was to take care of it. There was surprise, but not much, perhaps more a lack of awareness of the details. Marie wanted to be a hero, to save more people, but Victoria reminded her that she had nothing. If the Vought institution decides to send her to a psychiatric hospital, there's no escape. So she urged her not to waste the path she had laid out for her, saying that standing on the shoulders of giants, she might join the Super Sevens and stand alongside gods. Only then will she have the real power and right to change the world. Clearly, Marie's success was entirely dependent on Victoria, and Marie was a critical piece in Victoria's game. Thus, Marie had to make a choice because one cannot have it both ways. Afterward, Kate then sent a message to the group that the task was handled, alerting the others to come to the principal's. As for Andre, just as predicted, he was tied up elsewhere, which left the group of 4 to visit the principal's house. Their perspective upon entering seemed like stepping into a trap. Kate's bloodshot eyes were proof of overuse of her powers, but she wouldn't turn red-eyed if she only needed to control the principal. Kate asserted that the principal wouldn't change her nature. Notice Kate's dominant attitude, a stark contrast to her previous uncertainty. Under her influence, the visibly scared principal confessed that Godin University was a front. It was established to study superhumans, not to offer help. The virus was meant to be released globally to kill off the superhuman population, but ultimately it was for revenge against Homelander, who had killed her own family, along with the disorder and the uncontrolled bloody society that superhumans had brought. The principal's final task for Kate was to kill everyone in the Woods lab. After the revelation, Kate manipulated the principal to take a knife to cut her own throat and stopped Marie from saving her. Regardless of the high risk and difficulty of killing everyone in the Woods, it's crucial to know that if the Super 3 wanted to save people, they certainly had the means to do so. Typically, Marie would have insisted on saving people, but at that moment, she was pleading with Kate not to stop her. Emma didn't intervene with her superpower either. Jordan didn't transform, and she also didn't stop Kate. It was as if everyone suddenly lost their powers to intervene. Perhaps the situation where everyone could only watch helplessly was a scenario that played out in Kate's memory. At that time, without touching anyone, Kate pulled all 4 into a dream. It seems that the moment the group entered the house and saw Kate, they were already dragged into a dream created by Kate, who was unrestricted without taking medication. Regarding the virus, Victoria casually offered some assurances and an olive branch, leading Dr. Cardosa to contribute his share. Thus, Victoria smoothly acquired all the viruses, while Dr. Cardosa ended up with nothing but a worthless business card. Then came Victoria's signature move of eliminating the witness. The blood spattered on Victoria's hands from Dr. Cardosa also served as foreshadowing because the spread of the virus was still in the contact and fluid phase, and the doctor was also infected. After the principal ended up with her demise, now Kate has decided to go save her fellow superhumans in the Woods lab and seek revenge on humanity. Sam also supports Kate and joins the Revenge Squad directly, but to a large extent, this is the result of the influence of the powers behind Rufus. Whether it's the party in the corridor or deliberately bringing Sam to the meeting where superhumans conspire against humanity, it directly led to the original team's split. Now Kate and Sam are on the superhumans' side, while Marie, Jordan, and Emma are left without taking any side. They don't side with the superhumans, nor with the malicious humans researching them, and because they can't just stand by, they decide to first stop Kate and Sam. On the other hand, the illness gave Andre and his father a chance to be alone. The father admitted that he lied about the lab experiment, but it was also because he wanted to protect his young son. As for their future path, the father gave Andre the right to choose for himself, knowing that whichever choice he made, he would have regrets. Just as the principal disappeared and the school was preparing to select candidates for the Super Sevens, Kate and Sam stormed into the underground Woods lab. Kate asked a test subject when was the last time he saw the sun, and the man asked if Gangnam Style was still popular. Gangnam Style became popular in 2012, which means this guy had been locked up for at least a decade. Just like that, Kate released all the superhumans held inside. Here, there was also a confrontation between Sam and the imaginary Golden Boy. Golden Boy expressed that he killed himself out of guilt for killing someone and wanted to persuade Sam not to go on a killing spree, but Sam refused to have the conversation. After encountering the superhuman killed by the virus, they decisively drew a line between themselves and humanity, asserting the superiority of superhumans. This led to the initiation of a plan to purge the campus of humans. The escaped superhumans began to systematically identify and execute any humans they found. Marie and her group arrived too late and decided to hit the emergency button to lock down the school. The media teacher, who had witnessed the superhumans massacre, pulled out a sonic weapon designed to counter them and managed to fight back, indicating that he was also in the know. Soon, the administration realized the gravity of the situation. Kate took control of the informed media teacher, forcing him to consume the weapon meant for killing superhumans on live broadcast, leading to his explosion. The mass cleansing triggered panic and chaos within the school. The art teacher was nearly strangled by Sam, saved just in time by Emma. Sam, harboring resentment, had been led astray, and his rift with Emma premeditated, leading to an outright confrontation. He accused Emma of only saving him to be liked by everyone. As a result, their relationship irreparably soured. Emma, unable to stop him and overwhelmed with sadness, inexplicably shrank in size. Meanwhile, Andre received a notification from Kate. Sam, haunted by his brother's illusion, was reminded that his experiences don't define him but rather what he aspires to be. Nevertheless, Sam remained unshaken in his hatred for everything he had imagined, and had Kate help him erase all feelings, leaving him with a sense of emptiness that he didn't entirely dislike. Finally, Marie made it to the principal's office and pressed the emergency button, effectively sealing the school and activating the ultrasonic barriers to hinder the superhumans. Just when the leadership thought they were momentarily safe, the vengeful superhumans broke the stalemate and resumed their purge. The leaders quickly declared that whoever could put down these rebels would earn a spot in the Super Sevens, with Marie being the first to be called up, her sister's safety also leveraged as an additional stake. Soon after, the school's Wi-Fi was completely cut off to prevent the spread of information. A rescue helicopter sent by the school authorities was almost brought down by superhumans under Kate's control, but Andre entered the scene and narrowly prevented its crash. The leader's reference to Marie's words wasn't in vain, because it reminded her that they were the guardians of Godin University, prompting her to confront Kate to stop the killings. The Invisible Man received a strange call ordering him to execute Kate, but he was quickly subdued by Kate, who then ordered him to stop Marie and the others. Andre tried to persuade Kate that they were on the same side, to which Kate posed a provoking question, asking him if he really wanted to become like his father. This could imply she knew of some conspiracy from the principal, such as Victoria's harm to Andre's father, or the details of the meeting with Colonel Mallory. Hence, the principal's overplaying of her hand with Kate could also explain the principal's demise. Marie was entangled in a struggle with the Invisible Man, but her awakening abilities soon detected his presence, and she subdued him within minutes. Jordan instinctively ran to rescue the leaders, directing them to board a plane to escape harm. Andre didn't want to take sides, only to solve the immediate crisis, boldly claiming to Kate that together they could overcome the challenge. But when it came to holding hands with Kate, he hesitated. Sam, in an attempt to beat Andre, brought up their brotherhood with Golden Boy, which backfired, leaving Andre at a disadvantage and eventually resorting to a stun baton, ending in a draw with both parties hurt. Marie, wanting to be a good person and not concerned about her sister, found it difficult to remain neutral. Seeing Jordan surrounded, she incapacitated an enemy with a squeeze of the heart to stop the superhuman harm. To prevent further superhuman damage to the school leaders, Marie awakened her own powers, transforming everyone's blood into blood blades. Marie was ruthless, exterminating the superhumans instead of controlling them. After Jordan was saved, and as they exchanged glances, Kate tried a sneak attack to control Jordan, but Marie burst Kate's arm with a squeeze. Suddenly, Homelander arrived to flex his smooth landing and to save the school from disaster. Before Marie could explain, she was berated for attacking her own kind, and then targeted with laser eyes, knocking her out instantly. The scene shifts to a TV broadcast where the group trying to prevent a massacre was labeled as murderers by the news, while Kate and Sam, who caused the big chaos, were hailed as heroes. Homelander smiled knowingly at the outcome. This indicates that everything was under their control. The drama ends with the group now locked in a facility without doors. It's possible they've been sent to Vaught's psychiatric institution, but as Marie is Victoria's person, she would likely take action. The cliffhanger reveals that Billy Butcher comes to the underground woods lab, ready to stir up another chaos. This is Daniel CC Movie Channel. Stay safe and enjoy your day.